Hi guys, how are you? So pertaining to the previous word that I just put out, if you guys are watching this video and I think that you should watch the previous word. I know it's long, it's like 43 minutes. I'm not saying to sit still and watch it. What I'm saying is listen to it while you're cleaning your kitchen, while you're folding your laundry, while you're getting your chores done. Listen to it so that way you're productive while you're listening to the word, okay? It's going to help everybody because it's a word for everybody. It does resonate with this video a little bit. You know, it will motivate and it will also like teach you something, okay? But this particular video is another video that's very different, okay? So the person that I saw in this prophetic dream, I was advised not to mention who they are, but they're going to see this video. This is someone that has another platform. So I'm going to tell you the dream that I had, the prophetic dream. It was very vivid, and God allowed me to encourage this person in this dream. And this is someone that has a channel, but God did not call them to prophesy. They were called to do something else, right? But they have the gift of motivation and they have the gift of encouragement. And this person stepped away from their channel because the persecution that they were getting, it was too overwhelming. And you know, but they have a gift of motivation and encouragement. Like they're really good at encouraging people and stuff. And in a prophetic dream, I just remember that I ended up in the United States, and I ended up in this person's like room, and I was helping them fix a light bulb. And the light bulb had no light. Her light bulb blew. Okay, like it was blown. There was no light in the room. I brought the light bulb with me when I went to see her. And I took out the old light bulb that blew and I put in a new light bulb. And as I was twisting it, I was telling her, like the Lord made me pay attention at this particular part. As I was twisting it, I was telling her, well, you have the gift of encouragement and you can't let other people, because they don't want to see you on a platform, or because they may not, you know, like you, or because they may be very self-righteous, you can't allow them to push you away from the platform that you built all these years. It doesn't matter where you were in the past, it's about where you are today. It doesn't matter what your mentality was like in the past, it's about your mentality today. God changes people and God can use anybody as long as they're willing to be used. And if your motives are good and you are encouraging people, you're not putting anybody down, you're not gossiping about anyone, then don't worry about what people think about you. And as I was screwing the light bulb, it was taking a while to go in, but I was like, don't you let people push you away from the platform that you built. I said, there's so many people out there who wish they can be in your position, who wish they can do what you do. But a lot of them, they don't have the strength, they don't have the guts, they don't have the courage to do it. And some of them, they're not meant to do it. They're not called to do it. But you have a following for a reason, and you should not let that go to waste. You should encourage and continue to motivate, because your gift is to encourage. And as I was saying all this, the light lit up the room. The light lit up the room, and there shall be light. So after that, she was really nice to me, like, oh my gosh, thank you, and da-da-da-da-da. And then we went to I think we went to a basketball game, or like I don't know what type of game we went. We went to some type of game, and we were just hanging out. And I just remember like feeling really emotional, and like she allowed me to meet her child as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm emotional talking about it. But the Lord let me know that she's gonna see this video, and I don't have to mention her name. She's gonna see the video. And yeah, you have the gift of encouragement. And I just want to say something for anybody that's prophetically online, or anyone that's on social media, or anyone that's doing anything. It doesn't have to be ministry, it could be anything. When you have a light in you and you finally find the strength and the courage to talk to people and to help people, and you notice that people are listening, do what is right and do what is for God. I want people to understand that not everyone that's online giving out words or encouraging or motivating. Not everybody is a prophet. We understand that. Some people are called to the office of a prophet. Some people are prophetic. Some people are called to prophesy. But I want to also remind you guys, some people are meant to motivate. That is also a gift. Some people are meant to encourage. That is also a gift. Sometimes people think that because someone's on social media and because they are saying the word God out of their mouth, people automatically assume that the person is saying that they are a prophet. And that's not the case. Some people, they may say, God led me to encourage you, or God led me to motivate you today, or they may mention God. But just because they mention God, it does not mean that they're meant to prophesy. And also, just because they mention God, it does not mean that they're not meant to motivate. Do you get what I'm saying? It's okay to motivate someone and say, the word God, as long as you're not lying on God, as long as you're not saying that God told you something when he didn't. If you are motivating someone or you're encouraging someone, that is a gift too. You see what I'm saying? That is a gift too. There's not a lot of prophets online. There's a few. God has already revealed there's only a few. But there's a lot of people who have the gift to encourage and the gift to motivate. And there's a lot of people who have a big heart, and you just have to test the spirit. You just have to test the spirit to see who's operating through the fruits of the spirit. If you don't see anyone online tearing someone down, gossiping about someone, always persecuting someone, then, and the person is encouraging people and motivating people, leave them alone. That's a gift on its own. You get what I'm saying? Not everyone that's online is a prophet or claiming to be a prophet. Some people have the gift of motivation and encouragement. I always notice that a lot of people, they like to, anytime they see someone online that has like a good amount of followers or good amount of subscribers or whatever, there are people that will come online and they will make it their goal, their purpose to tear down these people. And they will sit there and say, oh, God never told you to do YouTube, or God never called you to do this, or God never called you to do that. And they will be the very same people that will sit there and judge them. And then as soon as they receive the clout that they're looking for, they will start doing exactly what the person they're putting down is doing. They will sit there and say, oh, I'm not meant to be a social media prophet, or I'm not meant to be on YouTube, or I'm not meant to do this, I'm not meant to do that. I'm just being obedient to what God told me to do. I'm calling this person, I'm calling that person. And then when everything dies down, you will notice that they're doing prophetic words now. Now they're doing things back to back. A lot of people that will try to put down someone who is motivating, encouraging, or prophesying, whatever it is that they're called to do, they will sit there and put them down, and then they will try to build their own platform. Most of the people that try to ridicule people doing this, they want to be in the position of those who are actually doing this, but they will claim they don't. But then you'll notice that months later, they're doing exactly what the person they try to put down is doing, and they're copying the footsteps, they're copying everything. You see what I'm saying? That means that the goal the whole time was to get clout off of their name and to do what they're doing. See, when people, and this is for everybody, when people want to do what you do and they can't do it, or that's their goal, or that's what they're desiring, they will try to put you down to get rid of you so they can try to take over what you're doing. And some of these people will be bold enough to use God's name to validate why they're being wicked in this way. If you are doing something and you love to do it and you are helping people and God has called you to do it, keep doing it. It doesn't have to be ministry. It could be anything. Keep doing it. Don't let people who are miserable, who want to do what you do, trick you out of your position. Okay? Don't let people do that to you. Because some of you guys, it's hard enough waking up and being obedient and doing this. And if you're doing this from the kindness of your heart and you love people and God called you to do something like this or anything, do not let these people push you away. I'm going to read something here. This is Romans 12, verse 6. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is given, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. There's many people who are called to do many things. And not everyone is meant to prophesy. Just like not everyone is meant to encourage. Just like not everyone's meant to motivate. Just like not everyone's meant to lead. But there's people who are operating through what they're meant to do. And there's people who are assuming that they're trying to do something else when they're not. And trying to put them down. Take everything to God. Because there's some people who are called to motivate, who are called to encourage. Okay? Take everything to God. And if you, whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't have to be ministry. Anything that you are doing, if you are encouraging and you are helping people in it, don't let people who want your position trick you out of your position. Because a lot of them will trick you out your position and say, God never said to do this, or don't do that, or don't do this, and try to put you down, make you feel bad after you've worked hard to build your platform, or you worked hard to build your job or your reputation at a company or wherever you are. And then you will notice these same people trying to do exactly what you're doing after they put you down when things die down, thinking no one's going to notice. These are hypocrites. These are hypocrites and these are haters. Don't let anyone trick you out of your position. Okay? I'm going to say this. I remember when I don't know if these two women, I don't know what their calling is, but I remember something. When I was going through a hard time, when I was in Thailand, I was having a good time in Thailand, but there was a period of time where I was having a very hard time because of the black magic that was being done to me. And I remember that I wasn't able to hear clearly for like 3-4 days because my hearing was fogged because of the spells they were doing. But I was able to see in the spirit very clearly. And that's one of the beauties of having like all the gifts, is when one area is kind of foggy, you can still see something in another area. I remember that God, I'm the kind of person, like, I give flowers to people. I'm not afraid to give flowers to people. I remember I was having a difficult time hearing, and I was praying. I'm like, God, I can't hear you clearly, you know? And I was really sad. Really sad. And I remember I closed my eyes and I was dozing off. And the Lord came through. The Holy Spirit's silhouette came through and I saw him. And I wasn't sleeping yet, but I was dozing off. And I saw the Holy Spirit's silhouette, and he came through and he had my phone in his hand. And he showed me my phone to my face. And he put his finger on the phone and started scrolling. And I'm like, oh, I've seen this woman pop up on my recommendation page, but I've never like watched her. But I saw him scrolling, and then I heard his voice come through very clearly. This was the first time I heard his voice for like 4 days, and it came through. Oh, there's a butterfly. Beautiful. Wow. Came through very clearly, and the Holy Spirit said, she is upright. She is upright. Listen to her. And I'm like, okay, God. And remember, I'm telling you, the 4 days I wasn't able to hear clearly. I was hearing here and there, but not clearly because of the fog, because of the black magic. And that was the first time I heard God say a sentence within the 4 days. He said a full sentence, and I was able to hear him clearly, and I was able to see his silhouette. And I looked, I couldn't find the woman's name because I couldn't see it in the vision, but I saw her face. So I remember scrolling through my recommendations and I saw her face. I think her name is Prophetic Word by Liddy or something like that. I don't remember. Prophetic Word by Liddy. I think so. Prophetic Word by Liddy. I think that's what it is. And I remember, again, I don't know what she's called to do, but I know the Lord was using her in that moment. I don't know if she's a prophet or to encourage or motivate. I just know the Lord used her in that moment to help me. And I remember I opened my eyes, and I didn't go to bed. I didn't sleep or anything. I just opened my eyes. I was dozing off, but I didn't go to bed. Like, I didn't go to sleep, basically. I didn't go into full sleep. I went to my phone recommendation page, and there she was. And I remember seeing the Holy Spirit scroll, and he said, she's upright. So when I looked at her videos, like the first 2 pages of the videos, they were all for me. They were all for me. And it was every single thing, everything that I was missing in those last 4 days, because it was so fogged, I couldn't hear God clearly, and there was so much interference. Everything was there for those 2 pages of videos. Were everything for the 4 days that I was supposed to hear from God, but I couldn't hear properly because it was fogged. So let's just say 2 full pages of videos that made up for the whole 4 days of what I couldn't hear clearly. So she helped me in that moment, and she encouraged me in that moment, to a point where I even had tears in my eyes. And I was like, wow, God. And you know, after that, the fog was gone after that. And so there was another incident where it was around a time where there was all these love spells happening. And I remember putting the video out, and I was warning people about the love spells. And there was people that were trying to gaslight me, right? Although I know what I saw and I know I can hear God clearly, there were people that was trying to gaslight me. And, you know, I remember I went to bed and I heard the Lord say, Jessica. And I'm like, Jessica? And he said, Jessica. I'm like, okay, Jessica. And I was asking God, I remember I was asking God about the love spells and what was going on in the spirit. I'm like, God, there's a lot of witches doing love spells around this time. This was around I think it was a full moon, and they were doing like the love spells and stuff. And I was asking God, I'm like, why do you say Jessica? And I remember the next day, I did see a Jessica on one of my videos in the comment section. So I was like, oh, let me see if I could find that video she commented on. So I remember I went and I clicked the video, and I saw her comment in the comment section. I'm like, I wonder if this is the Jessica he's talking about. And I wonder if this is a word for her, like the love spell word that I got. I wonder if this is for her, or if she understands what's going on, or if this is, because I wasn't sure why God said her name. So when I found the video where I saw a woman named Jessica comment, I clicked her page and I ended up on her YouTube channel. And long and behold, she had a video talking about on the brink, something on the brink of a breakthrough. I forgot the title, but it's something about a breakthrough. And I remember clicking the video, and I think her channel is Jessica or something with Jesus, walking with Jesus, something like that. Jess walks with Jesus, something like that. So when I clicked her comment, and I clicked her name, because I remembered the video that it was on, and then I saw her thing and I saw the breakthrough. I'm like, let me go to her most recent video, because maybe God is saying something about what I'm seeing in the spirit. Long and behold, when I watched the video, she was talking about exactly what I was seeing in the spirit pertaining to love spells, and how, you know, when you see something in the spirit, you know, you can also hear while you're seeing something in the spirit, right? And the witches can do stuff to manipulate what you're hearing while you're seeing something in the spirit, to make you think otherwise, to make you start to think that your person is doing something they're not supposed to be doing. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, she's explaining everything that I literally just told everybody. She's going through the same thing, or because she was explaining her dream. She's explaining exactly what I was explaining, but she was explaining her dream and what she was dreaming about. And I also remembered in my book, I talked about that. I remember in my book, I talked about Dungeon Witch. If you guys read my book, I said Dungeon Witch is a woman named Dungeon Witch. She locked me in the dungeon when my kingdom husband was there. And I saw him like hugging her and kissing her. And when I yelled, he saw me in the dungeon behind the bars, and he couldn't believe it was me. And then she got mad, and he was confused because he wasn't sure who was the person, who was the real person. And then I remember that there was a point where he left, and when the door opened and I went outside the dungeon, I remember she was doing witchcraft on the ground, And as she was doing the witchcraft, she was making these moaning noises as she was doing it. And that was to make me hear the moaning sounds, to think that he was doing something with her, but it was actually her doing the moaning sounds while she was doing the spell to make me think that. So imagine I didn't see her doing the witchcraft. I would have thought that he was doing something with her had I just heard the moaning noises, right? So that was what Jessica was explaining in her video. And when she was explaining that, she was confirming exactly what I was seeing in the spirit pertaining to the love spells. And that was God using her in that moment to be like, Steph, you're not tripping. Like, you know, you're not tripping. Don't let them gaslight you, etc., etc., etc. So the point of me saying this is God can use anybody. Even people like myself that can see the Holy Spirit in the spirit. Sometimes we are fighting things where we're fogged as well, and God will use someone else to encourage us when we're down, right? So I just want to say, if any of you guys have the gift of encouragement, like, keep going, because even like, although I can see in the spirit and I have the gift of prophecy, the encouragement helped me when I needed it as well. So I'm the kind of person, I just focus on God. I depend on God. I don't watch prophetic words. I just completely focus on God. But whenever God does show me someone and he says, you know, sometimes, you know, he'll show me someone and be like, hey, watch this video. And it will literally confirm something that I already know he told me. And sometimes even people like myself, like I'm extremely gifted in the spirit, but there's times where the people that are doing the black magic, sometimes there's times where they can really get me to a place where I'm emotional and I want to pull away and I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to bother with nobody. And God will be trying to say something to me and I'm just like hearing it, but then I'm not hearing it, or it's fogged, or you get what I'm saying? And he will use someone to encourage me. Sometimes I'll receive a random email from someone that's just saying, hey, Steph, I want to encourage you. Keep your head up. I love you. And that will make me smile. So the point of me saying this is there's people online, there's people in the world that God may use them to encourage people. And just because, you know, and if you are someone that has a gift of encouragement, you will help, you also can be used to help people who may have the gift of prophecy but may not be encouraging, or they may have the gift of something else. You help them too, because sometimes we go through things and God will use someone to encourage us. You get what I'm saying? I could hear God very clearly and I could see in the spirit very clearly, but yes, there was a time when they did something that fogged me and God used this woman Liddy. And there was a time when they tried to gaslight me and God used this woman Jessica. Do you get what I'm saying? And she confirmed something I already wrote in my book, but she was confirming what she was speaking on her own dream that literally was similar to something I experienced in my dream way back, right, that I wrote about. So the point of me saying this is God can use who he wants to use. And it's not our decision, or we are not to point fingers as to who he can use, because he can use who he wants to use. And if God is using you, you are called to encourage, continue encouraging, because you help people even like myself. Okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.